Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Haykhal. I am from Bina, Sarana, Informatika, University of Fatmawati. In this video, I will make a final term project for applied linguistics. Here are the table of contents. First, I will show the problem 1, then I will answer it. Third, I will show the problem 2, and I will answer it too. I will show the problem 1. Mr. Thompson is a linguist studying the use of language in news reporting. He is particularly interested in how language can convey bias, shape public opinion, and influence the perception of news events. Mr. Thompson analyzes articles from various news outlets covering the same events to identify linguistic patterns that may indicate bias. He also considers the impact of these linguistic choices on the audience's understanding and interpretation of the news. And the question is, what linguistic features should Mr. Thompson focus on to identify bias in news reporting? Discuss at least three features and explain how they can contribute to biased reporting. Here my answer. To recognize inclination in news announcing, Mr. Thompson ought to center on a few etymological highlights that can uncover how dialect is utilized to communicate inclination, shape open supposition, and impact the discernment of news occasions. Here are three key highlights to consider, grounded in connected phonetic hypothesis and news coverage thinks about. First, there is word choice and intention. Second, source attribution and citation design. Third, surrounding and story structure. Number one, word choice and intention. Word choice includes the determination of particular terms that carry specific intentions. Implication alludes to the suggested or proposed implications that words carry past their exacting definition. These intentions can be positive, negative, or unbiased, and they can altogether shape the reader's recognition of the news. Agreeing to surrounding hypotheses in news coverage, the way news is displayed can impact the audience's translation. This incorporates the choice of particular words and expressions that out an occasion in a certain light. For occasion, the contrast between portraying a bunch as flexibility warriors versus fearmongers is significant, as each term carries an endlessly diverse intention and impacts the reader's enthusiastic reaction and understanding of the group's activities. So it's like consider the scope of a challenge portraying members as dissidents versus agitators can altogether influence open recognition. Dissidents propose legal get-together and civic engagement, whereas agitators implies lawlessness and viciousness. Analyzing word choice makes a difference with Mr. Thompson's reveal fundamental predisposition in how occasions are depicted. Number two, source attribution and citation designs. Source attribution alludes to the honor of naming the sources of data inside a news article. The choice of sources as well as how their sites are utilized and displayed can present inclination. This includes analyzing who gets cited, the recurrence of their sites, and how their explanations are surrounded inside the setting of art of the article. Agenda setting hypothesis sets that media outlets do not fair tell the open what to think, but or maybe what to think around, by specifically citing certain sources over others. News outlets can shape the story around an occasion. Moreover, Galtung and Raj's hypothesis of news values proposes that writers select sources and sites that adjust with the scene's significance, and dramatization of a story, possibly driving to one-sided detailing. In detailing on a political outrage, in case a news outlet overwhelmingly cites one political party, whereas minimizing or overlooking the other party's point of view. It presents predisposition. Mr. Thompson should analyze the adjust and representation of distinctive sources, noticing any design that recommend favoritism or disregard. Number three is surrounding and story structure. Surrounding includes the organization of data in a news story to highlight certain perspectives over others. The account structure can incorporate the arrangement in which realities are displayed, the accentuation put on particular points of interest, and the utilize of allegories and analogies to make a specific impression. Elements surrounding hypothesis diagrams how media outlines can characterize issues, analyze causes, make ethical judgments, and propose cures. The story structure in news stories can lead to one-sided elucida- elucidation by directing per users through a built reality that emphasizes certain perspective and downplays others. For the illustration, in scope of a financial downturn surrounding the story through the focal point of present hardship versus systemic disappointment makes distinctive stories. The previews might center on individual stories of enduring, conjuring sympathy, and a call for quick help, whereas the last mentioned might analyze arrangement, disappointments, and long-term financial suggestions. Directing per users toward systematic arrangements, Mr. Thompson ought to look at how stories are surrounded to identify biases in story development. Hypothetical integration, news coverage and connected phonetics surrounding hypothesis and media inclination. Surrounding hypothesis is significant in understanding media predisposition. It recommends that how a story is surrounded can impact open recognition by centering on particular perspectives of an occasion and overlooking others. Writers can direct groups of onlookers towards specific translations, usually closely related to the concept of particular introduction, where people lean toward data that adjust with their pre-existing conviction, strengthening predisposition. Basic talk examination or CDA is a strategy inside connected etymology, analyzes how dialect reflects and replicates control elements in society. It is especially valuable for analyzing news writings to reveal covered up inclinations. CDA centers on the transaction between dialect control and philosophy, uncovering how phonetic choices shape open conclusion, open conclusion and fortify societal structures. Media agenda setting and open supposition. Agenda setting hypothesis can complements phonetic examination by investigating how media prioritize issues. becomes and Shaw's work on agenda setting highlights the relationship between media association on certain issues and the public's discriminant of those issues' significance. This hypothesis underscores the part of media informing not as it were what the open considers almost, but to how they think almost it. So, in conclusion, to comprehensively distinguish predisposition in news detailing, Mr. Thompson ought to center on word choice and essence, source attribution and citation design, and surrounding and story structure. By coordinating connected etymological hypotheses and news coverage considers such as surrounding hypothesis, CDA, and agenda setting hypothesis, he can efficiently analyze how dialect shapes open recognition and reveals the unobtrusive predispositions that impacts how news is detailed and deciphered. This multifaceted approach will give a strong system for understanding the etymological instruments that drive inclination in news media. Here are the problem two. Imagine you are a language planner working for the government of a country with a diverse linguistic landscape. The country has several indigenous languages spoken by different ethnic groups, as well as a dominant national language used for official purposes. Your task is to develop a language policy that promotes linguistic diversity while ensuring effective communication and national unity. The question is, how can the government promote the use and preservation of indigenous languages through education? So my answer is advancing the utilized and conversation of inborn dialects through instruction in etymologically diverging nation requires a well-planned, multifaceted approach that regards etymological difference, whereas cultivating national solidarity, drawing on dialect and instruction hypothesis, the taking after methodologies can be utilized. Bilingual and multilingual instruction models, educational models, advancement and assess, instruction preparing and proficient advancement, community and parental association, approach and lawful system, innovation and media integration, investigate and assessment, making a strong school environment. First, bilingual and multilingual instruction models. Transitional bilingual instruction. This demonstrate at first employments in born dialects for instruction, whereas continuously transitioning to the overwhelming national dialect. Support bilingual instruction. This approach keeps up and creates capability in both the innate and national dialects all through the student's instruction. Dual language immersion programs. These programs put local speakers of both the innate and national dialects within the same classroom, instruction in both dialects. Two educational models, advancement and assets. Socially pertinent educational models, consolidating innate information, histories, and social horns into the educational models can make instruction more pertinent and locks in for inborn understudies. Improvement of learning materials, making reading material, computerized assets, and other instructive material in inborn dialect is fundamental. Three, structured, preparing, and proficient advancement. Bilingual educator arrangement programs, building up, structure, preparing programs that plan teachers to instruct in both the inborn and national dialects is pivotal. Ceaseless proficient improvement, give giving, progressing, preparing, and back for instructors to create their abilities in bilingual instruction and to remain overhauled with the most recent investigate and methodologies in dialect instruction. For community and parental association, locks in community centers and pioneers, including community older folks and pioneers within the instruction handle guarantees that the innate dialects are instructed in a socially fitting way. parent association programs, empowering guardians to take an interest in their children's instruction by advertising education programs in innate dialects and making openings for them to be included in school exercises. 5. Approach and level system. Official acknowledgement and back, recognizing inborn dialects as official dialects inside the legitimate system of the nation and giving satisfactory subsidizing and assets for their advancement and conservation. Dialect rights enactment, sanctioning laws that ensure the etymological rights of inborn communities, guaranteeing their right to get instruction in their local dialect. 6. Innovation and media integration. That invest learning stage, creating online stage and application that give intelligently and logs in content in innate dialects, while the media in innate dialects supporting the creation and broadcast of television program, radio appears, and online substance in inborn dialects to increment their perceivability and glory within open circle. 7 is investigate and assessment dialect and instruction inquire about conducting investigate on the viability of diverse bilingual education models and methodologies within the setting of the country's phonetic scene. Checking and assessment, executing strong components for checking and assessing the effect of dialect approaches on understudy results and dialect conversation. 8. Making a strong school environment. Language friendly school culture and advancing a school culture that values all dialects and energizes understudies to utilize their innate dialects nearby the national dialect. Peer-back program, Bina peer-back framework where understudies can offer assistance each other learn and utilize both the innate and national dialects. In conclusion, a comprehensive dialect arrangement that consolidates these procedures can viably advance the utilized and conversation of inborn dialects through instruction, whereas guaranteeing compelling communication and national solidarity. By estimating phonetic differences and make a steady situation for all dialects, the government can cultivate a more comprehensive and cohesive society where each phonetic community feels regarded and enabled. That is all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.